Hi there everyone, Laurel here, and today I'm going to show you how I use some of my scraps to create a card. And you see all those little color diagonal stripes? That's scrap paper as well as the paper I use for the die and the stars. So this is a bunch of just random scratch paper I had from another project. So I'm taking my paper trimmer, you can't see the measurements, but I'm trimming them all to anywhere between 1/4 and 1/2 inch. And I've just got multiple color paper, so I'm going to keep doing that until I've got 2 of each color. I wasn't sure how far up the page I was going to go. So there's all my little scraps, and this is just a piece of standard really thin copy typing paper that I trimmed down to 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm using that as my base. I needed something to adhere all these little scraps to. So I went ahead and put some adhesive down on that typing paper, and then I'm going in and just laying over the scraps in a diagonal form there. So I'm going to just put down whatever colors is pleasing to the eye for me. I'm going to do that twice, so I'm going to have 2 of each color. I need to make sure I go from corner to corner, and I didn't with that red one, so I'm going to peel it up and put it back down, and then just keep moving there. And then when I'm done, that looks like a big hot mess. But I'm going to go ahead and put on one more color. I think I was going to do teal, finish it off, and you see I'm making sure I'm going from corner to corner. Then I'm going to take some scissors and trim all of that off. And then I'll have a little base to work with for my card here. So I wanted to do some kind of design or something. I was going to get away with, try to make a card with no stamping, but clearly I couldn't do that. So I've got this lattice background by Hero Arts. I'm going to ink that up with some Versamark ink, and I'm going to stamp that. That's still my typing paper, all scratches, scratch paper there, and I'm going to stamp that right on to my colored cardstock there, and you can see the design there. You can leave that as is and it'll dry and you'll get that great tone on tone look, but I decided to sprinkle on some embossing powder and then heat set it, and then I've got that design with some shine to it. I thought that would be a little fun. So now I'm going to go ahead and trim down my design there, but that's still on some copy paper, which is really flimsy. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down to a card base there. That's some Neenah 80-pound cardstock there. So I'm going to go ahead, and that's some sticky, that's some sticky adhesive I've got. Look, some of it stuck on my finger. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and put that down on the card base and then trim it because I wanted something a little sturdier to work with. So now I've got my design on a card base. I went ahead and trimmed that down. So I'm going to put some foam dimension, double-sided foam dimension there on the back here. I wanted to pop that up on the panel. I thought that would be fun. So the panel I'm working off of is, again, 80-pound cardstock trimmed down to 4 by 5 1/4. Now this is another scratch piece that was left over from the other part that I just trimmed down. So I'm going to take that Beautiful die by the Essentials by Ellen line and go ahead and run that through my die cutting machine, and then I get this really pretty die. I love that Beautiful. I just think it's so pretty. So I've got that. I'm going to set that in. Then I'm going to take the other space of that die that's remaining there, and I'm going to smush that with some Versamark ink. And I'm going to sprinkle on some sparkling embossing powder in black. I didn't have any black glitter paper or anything like that. So this is a Zing black glitter finish embossing powder. So I'm going to go ahead and heat set that, and you can see I got this nice sparkly shine. So I basically created my own glittery paper with some embossing powder that I had. Then I'm going to take these little stars by the Essentials by Ellen line from the, what's the name of that? Home and Hearth die set there, and I die cut out a bunch of little stars here, and if you can look closely, hopefully sparkle in it too. It's really cool. And I'm going to go ahead and use that on my card base. So I needed to add some color to my little die there, so I grabbed 3 different color Copic markers. I'm going to go ahead and put all the color down, then I'm going to realize I didn't really like it. This was more of like a blue purple rather than a purple purple, so I'm going to kind of scratch this, and I'm going to go over it with some different colors, but I wanted to show you the process here. And I went ahead and sped this up pretty fast so you don't get too bored watching. Changed my mind and went in with the more of a purple that I like, and I'm going to go ahead and lay down that color instead right over the other Copic color, no problems whatsoever. And then I'm more happy with this purple. This was more of in the purple family that I wanted. So I'm going to take my Versamark again. I'm going to smush that down right onto my die cut. Be careful, it's very delicate. I only cut that with 80-pound cardstock, so it's pretty delicate. So I've got some Versamark all over that die. I'm going to dump that into my tub of clear embossing powder, and then I'm going to go ahead and heat set that. And in doing that, it's going to give me a nice shine, but it also makes it a little bit more sturdy, and I feel more comfortable handling it. I don't want my die to rip, you know what I mean? So you got that little shine. I don't know if you can pick that up because I was moving in warp speed there. So now it's time to take all these pieces and put them into a card, make a card out of it all. So this is the multi-matte medium I picked up long ago. It has a little brush tip, which I love. So I'm just gonna brush that glue right onto the back of my die. I don't care that any of it's gonna ooze out the side because it dries completely matte. Also, when I use this glue here, it gives me a little bit of time to kind of maneuver how I want my die to lay. You can see me kind of moving it around a little bit. So you've got some time before you're committed to where it goes, because once it's dry, that glue is really, really a good hold. It's not going anywhere, so you got a little bit of time. So now I'm going to take I missed my U, my bag. I put a little bit of glue back down there. So now I'm going to take some of that same glue. I'm going to smush it onto my card base. Or I'm sorry, not my card base. Don't do that. I'm going to smush it onto my work surface, and I'm going to dip my stars into that glue and then kind of scatter around the stars all over my base here. And again, that glue dries completely matte, so don't worry if any of it oozes out the side. And then I've got a standard top folding card, black card base, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm just going to center that panel right onto my card base. And then as a finishing touch, I'm going to take my Wink of Stella glitter pen in clear, and I'm just going to brush on some glitter. It's hard to pick up this in the camera or on film, but it really adds this nice glittery touch to the card. And it finishes off, it ties in with the glittery stars and the shiny, beautiful sentiment there, die cut. So that's the card, using up your scraps. If you're interested in anything or any of the supplies that you've seen, or if you want to see a couple more pictures, head on over to my blog at laurelbeard.org. Thank you guys always so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.